Yeah. I was
Start. They had some. Are we? We're on there. Yeah, but we're visual. Yeah. And you should hit that, turn that there. Right, hello. I'm fresh.
Wow, all this thing, I never moved, was like really working.
Yeah. I'm looking at your 138. So that. So yes. So this other have this, the. There. So she won't. Yeah, yeah. Oh, really? Right. Yes. Redskins game. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for attending the city meeting of City of District Heights, Thursday, October the 5th, 2023. It is 7:02 p.m. This meeting to order. Could I get the open? Please bow your heads. Thank you for putting this together. We ask that during this meeting, you bring the spirit of collaboration, civic engagement, and government affairs as we work to do the city of District And your name, right? Amen. Thank you for that, Commissioner Gomez. Could I get the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. So has the commission reviewed the agenda? Are there any amendments or something to the agenda as is? So it looks like we don't have any amendments. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting, October the 5th?
Vice Mayor Harcourt move to approve tonight's agenda.
Could I get a second?
Commissioner Jazz, the second motion.
All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you for that. Public participation. So we do have public participation for Derek Drake regarding the Virus Expo 2023 coming up in November. Requesting to this event. This will show support for his constituents, intensity in home ownership and transition economic stability. Well, thank you for coming to the meeting tonight.
Thank you, Miller, Vice Mayor Harcourt, Commissioner Janifer, Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Tillman. Thank you for having me. Wanted to tell you about it's a huge problem, a huge problem. Not just affecting District Heights, but the country, and that's home ownership. And most of us here have children, grandchildren, or know some aunt or niece or nephew who, if they do not own a home now, they probably just thrown their hands up and walked away and do not return, or no intentions of returning to the path of home ownership. And home ownership is a crisis in this country. Inflation is through the roof. People are comfortable with renting. And if we want true economic stability, transitional economic stability through our generations, once we leave here, for our children's children, home ownership is the first step. The Buyers Expo Week is going to address that. November 6th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we have an evening session. November 10th is the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. November 8th is the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So those 3 sessions for that week, it's the same thing each day. I'm inviting everyone here to come out. Mayor Miller and this distinguished panel to say a couple of comments to encourage the citizens of District Heights. We're going to have Bowie State University there. Dr. Thomas, the communications director, has decided to work with us, covering radio, as far as the media, to allow students to have the opportunity, because as we know, starting out, we don't have a lot of people willing to take a chance on us. So we're going to have cameras there, we're going to have not only just radio, but we're gonna have the use of Bowie State Television. There's gonna be refreshments there from Chick-fil-A. We're gonna have opportunities for military, members to look into home ownership, low income, citizens to look into home ownership, almost to no income. So it's an opportunity for everyone. And I hope to see everyone here there. Thank you.
Is there any question?
I do.
Vice Mayor.
Can you tell us where this event is taking place? I don't guess his mic is on.
No, my voice was carrying. If not, I can just speak loud.
Just trying to see it.
I want to be respectful of everyone's time here. So it's going to be at 2020 Ritchie Road, which is New Vision Fellowship Church in District Heights.
So where's Drake Consulting?
Drake Salting is located in Upper Marlboro, that's right. Yes. And I'm a realtor, a business consultant, also my company works with the church, so I partner with the community, and my track record of community it's gone through, I would say, since Youth Conservation Corps when I was 12 years old in Southeast Anacostia, working in the Frederick Douglass home, working in Anacostia skate rink, working at Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, Young Marines.
Great. Any other questions? Oh, you still have a question?
Would you be able to get us a PDF flyer?
Absolutely, the flyer, I have a copy of the flyer, and I will have the opportunity to give it to everyone.
I think for tonight, you won't be able to hand it out tonight. So it'll be,
Sure.
okay. Any other
I would like to
questions?
add one thing, if I may.
Oh, sure.
One more thing, there's a QR code for you to RSVP on the flyer. And there's also a save the date video card for the event. And I was instructed to send it to the city clerk for you. And so, yeah.
Any other questions? Any other questions from the commission?
I did have a question. As part of this event, are you going to have individuals there that can talk to participants about how to check their credit reports, or sign up to be able to check their credit reports and let them know how much monies they would be able to get from a bank in order to purchase a home? How much information are you all planning to provide to the participants?
So there will be organizations there. One right now that I am in talks with right now is Home Free USA. And I believe they do that.
So you're gonna have additional members, I guess.
Absolutely. There's going to be Home Free USA. I believe from the County Executive Office of Community is going to be there.
Community relations.
Community Relations will be there. Also, our Delegate Jeffrey Long will be there.
Yeah, we know that.
Great. And just a lot of support from some good people. Navy Federal will be there. Prime Lending will be there. The traditional lenders, USA Mortgage will be there. It's going to be a great event.
Will NACA be out there?
NACA should be there. I've been talking with Robert Torres at NACA, and we're working on it. I will say that. I don't want to oversell it, but it is on the flyer, and we're working on it.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission? Okay. Well, thank you, and our city manager will be in touch to confirm and make sure that we get it out to the community. But great incident. Great incident. Okay. Next agenda item are the action items, approval of the July session minutes. And then we had the permit application to 8. So could we get a motion to approve these 2 items as listed?
So did you send?
The consent, that's what I meant. No.
The agenda for the evening, not considered.
Could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I, Commissioner Owens, move that the city commission approve the consent agenda of October 5th, 2023.
Could I get a second?
I serve on 42nd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you for that. So now, we're the treasurer's report, with the department reports and treasurer's reports. Ralph Bazilio. Welcome.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Very much so. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm very excited to present to you a report of June 2023. It's the first month in the new fiscal year. And the June year end, the year end June is being audited, as we mentioned several times. That audit is a little slower than we wanted. Thinking that early next week we'll get sure to put some pressure on the auditors so we can get update as time is going, and we need to get it to the state. What you have is the report for July, and you will know, I just want to give you a few highlights. You'll notice that there's not much activity on the income side for the month of July versus where you should be. And this is not very, it's not unusual. Sometimes it's a slow start. We have been keeping the books beyond July. You're just getting a report that we close in July. So we have seen activity in August and September, and there's been significant improvement. So I expect that the next time we report, you will see numbers that are more in line with what you will notice. The one gets the focus for this, but the revenues from fines and vehicles are very much within budget.
That's always good.
In regards to the expenses, they're in line, except that a few areas are a little slower, and there again, activity picked up after the month. And so in the next report, you'll see more activity. And there's one significant line item called American Rescue Plan, which is $352,000, which has been spent for improvements in infrastructure. And that number is also increased after July. See the report. Now, I always like to give you an idea of how things are going in general beyond just the period notice. And I'm pleased to let you know how we see things. It seems that there's been improvement as we have evolved. We started almost a year ago, where so many records were not reconciled and processes needed to be improved, and we got involved in correcting and improving. And putting in place a bill-paying system, for example, better financial reporting system, so now you're getting simple summaries. Move from that, evolve into working with the city manager, the budget process, improve, and then we move to the audit process. So the whole financial operations is evolving and getting better, I believe. Now we are also engaged in supporting some of the other areas, for example, in your applications for grants and the various reports that have to be prepared. So all in all, I'm pleased that things are looking forward to even getting better. The next report also shows some more updates in those particular areas. That in a nutshell is a summary of what we are ending July.
Any questions for the commission?
I do.
Okay.
So, Cecilia, thank you for being here. We're so grateful, for you and Miss Cecilia. We have been through. So what I'd like to know is if you can just give us a brief, maybe lessons learned, things that we can improve on, things that you see that, we still need to prioritize so that when we leave this place, it'll be better than before. Not only that, it'll be very difficult to undo the processes and procedures and those accounting principles that we put in place to ensure the financial health and well-being of our city.
Right. Well, some of the things that are putting in place are the controls that you need. The simple thing is a monthly report is a part of control process because it forces someone to prepare it and to be questioned. And you have a review process. You have a city manager in place who actually knows more than just roads. He knows numbers. So you have a control process with reports, with staff in place, and you're building a better infrastructure of people. And that's control in itself. Also, the processes and procedures that you put in place and those that are being written. So that's also one of the ways that you put in place what you need to prevent the problems. So I think you're on the right track. And hopefully the audit, financial statement audit will give that outside look and also share this with the outside. I think you're on the right track. Continue to see the.
Thank you so much.
So you're right, it's changing the process. Because I know there are verbal agreements with the treasurer where we could not go back and track what was actually done, how much was spent, was it voted. So I appreciate your attentiveness on making sure that requests are written along with the city manager to make sure we are keeping track of how we're spending our money and when we vote and agree that we're spending money. So thank you for that. Any questions from the commissioner? No questions from the commissioner. Thank you so much
You're very welcome.
for that report. Have a good evening.
We didn't even age him.
Huh?
We didn't even age him any.
No, we didn't, Agent. My city here all night. So next, you too, thank you. So next report is recreation, Mr. Derek. Did you know you were next? Did you want to give the spot to someone? Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, city residents, and guests. Please accept the report as submitted. Jump right into it. Recreation Department went to Longfield Elementary School as part of our plan to connect with several elementary schools, several middle schools, and we want to stick with 3 high schools, Wise, Flowers, and Suitland. But this is going to help with not only getting back to our numbers, but also expanding the program options that we're on. Moving on to the park services and use update. We are about to hire a new employee at the end of the month. It's a turf tank robotic field painter. It feels like a new employee because it's an autonomous machine. I think Mr. Hall would be a little jealous because he was our go-to guy for years to get out there and strike the field, but technology has changed and now that autonomous robot can strike the field for football, soccer, baseball. It can carve out. Thank you so much, Mayor and Commission, in the middle of the field if we wanted to. So it does a whole lot. That's why the field is striped right now. I washed it, asked a bunch of questions. It's an awesome machine, so it'll feel like I'm an employee. But the turf tank robotic field painter will save our residents money, and that's the residents' money and time. So great opportunity for the city and to Vice Mayor Point, something that we'll be able to use for years to come. Culture events and activities. October, we have two. Saturday, October 28th, 2023 is the Fall Festival. And it's right here on the parking lot and inside. We're doing a little bit of both. And it's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then we have on Tuesday, October the 31st, we're doing our annual Halloween event, and that's the Trunk or Treat. And this is at the Woodland Springs in front of the rental office. And that will be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it'll be a partnership with us, Woodland Springs, our police department. And we look forward to seeing people come out again this year. And last but not least, our project management update, our municipal playgrounds, the construction has started on 2 out of 3.
Do we get to play on the?
Yes, not yet. After that Robert Drive. But we'll make sure you guys have first rights of refusal in regards to once it opens. But yes, it looks great.
It does.
I'm so happy that the city decided to go in that direction. It pretty much brightens up the entire campus. And that concludes the report. I'll keep the mayor and commission up to date on the progress on the construction. And last but not least, tonight we're hosting a Redskins Chicago Bears get together downstairs.
Commanders.
Commanders, I apologize.
Yeah.
So much.
Just put on my paraphernalia in the back. That traffic was crazy, but
Yeah.
it was great. So, before I hand it over to the commission with a question, is there any reason why we're not having the, Halloween event here versus February?
Yes, we do a large haunted house here, and we were anticipating the bathrooms to get renovated.
Oh, okay,
And because we planned so far ahead of time,
right.
I have a schedule that we decided to go, just to make sure that we were not in the way of holding the renovations.
All right, any questions from the commission?
Yeah.
Sure, Commissioner.
Thank you, Jackie, for your, and thank you so much for the work that you're putting in with, Ms. Jackson. For our project this Saturday. So my question was, I've been including the week room, and I see that we have residents who are there and don't see that. I also know we had a conversation on modernizing our membership program. So can you just provide an update?
Yes. Yep. In January, right now, going through several trainings. We have completed 3 out of 7, and that's for the new RecDesk system. RecDesk.com is a nationwide and global, actually, a global software And it actually, will help with increasing memberships, managing, who comes to the recreation center, who doesn't, cold calls, marketing, promoting. It's an actual website that we'll be partnering with, that will handle all of our membership responsibilities and tracking. So everything from, getting communication out to receiving feedback, everything is built into the system. I'll send, the information to rec this out to the mayor and commission. We're looking to launch in January because the way the trainings are spread out, we'll be in the middle of December. And we're looking to do a membership campaign in January and an open house in January so that we bring everyone together and start from that.
Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe on the second work session this month, Mr. Taylor is gonna bring a reimagined membership structure to the commission for consideration that will go along with RecDesk. The idea being to simplify the structure we've got right now, as well as to make it maybe a little easier, a little more appealing for folks who might live in the vicinity and not have access to recreational facilities to come in and have a comparatively low-cost gym membership or access to, the indoor basketball court and recreation area as well. So you can expect a full briefing and recommendations from Mr. Taylor, I believe on the. Yes.
Any other questions? Sure, Commissioner Jones.
So, it is a exciting times in the recreation department. Really excited to see all the changes and upgrades and new staff. And the new free employee that doesn't tire, works overtime, no benefits. That's wonderful. I haven't gone out to see the field today, but I'm hoping it'll still be striped tomorrow. So I can take a look at it. How long did it take the robot to do that?
It took 25 minutes. It used to take 2 hours.
Wow. That's really cool.
And each design has a measurement. Takes soccer is like 15 to 20 minutes. Baseball is like 32 minutes, so it's pretty precise.
But you can program it to do just about anything.
Yeah.
Is there even writing on the field?
Yeah.
That's further than Facebook, so in no time at all. How many residents or guests do we have downstairs for the Commanders game tonight?
Right now, see about 15 to 20. Our young ladies are finishing up,
Okay.
so they're setting up. If we didn't want to, they would, let's cancel.
So, to the residents about moving forward, is there a plan that future games you continue to?
Great question. Because we're, anticipating support being done downstairs, we're making the space that we have a multi-use space. So tonight games, we have scheduled for them to So we're gonna do a few things, karaoke night. I kind of want to spill some things in here, but yeah, we're going to do some karaoke, some painting. There's a few events, anything to bring people together so that we can gather their information. That's the key. So even tonight, we're collecting.
So,
Just so that we can stay together.
so the karaoke, we're gonna do open mic, poetry, clean poetry, that kind of. Because we do need activities for that 30 to 50 age range.
You got it.
I'm excited. I don't do a whole lot of karaoke, but I love So, any other questions from the
I
commission?
do, if I'm, sure. I just want to say, Mr. Taylor, this is a sea change. I'm so glad that, I'm very proud of you and the work that Recreation is doing. Just been doing a stellar job, so thank you so much. I know we had some bumps, and what I'd like to do right now is right in front of everybody say, I'm sorry for ever doubting you. No, I'm serious, and I should, because it's the right thing to do. So I'm so glad that we made it through.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you, and I'm excited about the future of what we are all going to do together for the community. And I think that's a hallmark of leadership is to acknowledge when a person, when you're wrong, to say it, and let's move on forward. So with that, I do have a couple questions. Can you give us an address where the location for the Halloween event will be? Willard Springs?
Willow Springs, as long as can come, I think it's 6217.
6617.
Thank you. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, 6617. Thank you, Commissioner Tillman. 6617, the circle that at the street.
And, okay, in previous events, we were able to, that you all would ask if people could donate candy or costumes.
Yes.
Is that something that you'd like? And if so, where would people bring those?
Drop them off. We can press TT to the Tiffany Cemetery. We want them to go there.
Yeah. In addition, do you have a PDF that can go out to us so we can also share on these social media? Great, you guys. Thank you so much. And glad about the plate.
Oh, we're just getting started.
So don't forget.
No.
Any other questions from the commission?
Yeah, just quick. I'm going to post on Vice Mayor. People, it's been a lot said about recreation, but you guys do an amazing job. And I'm proud to be the liaison for recreation. We had an amazing year and it keeps going.
Yes.
And of course, I would like to make sure our city manager kind of give us an update on the workforce development center that's coming, please, if you can.
Yes, happy to do that. Our furniture is on order and should be scheduled for delivery shortly. It's got paid for, the workforce development, the individual computers are already here. So as soon as the furniture arrives and the installers come with it, we will be ready to move into the space and recreation. I was gonna tag on to Mr. Taylor's comment earlier. We rolled the dice and did move Halloween out of the building because we didn't want to conflict with construction and have to scramble for it last minute. It looks like that's been, I'll do more information in my report, but it looks like that scheduling has been pushed back a little bit again. However, I'd like to say too, in response to your question, I don't anticipate that the construction and the opening of the Workforce Development Center will conflict.
Great. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
This is a comment just for the community. When Mr. Taylor said that, about the robot, and I just want people to know, when you don't know how, I'm hearing a lot of people saying they don't know how President Biden is impacting me. This is how President Biden is impacting us directly. We have new playgrounds, we have new streets, we have new equipment, we have new staff, we have a new robot, we have new improvements directly impacting the everyday lives of our residents. This is how President Biden is impacting us. And I just want to put that out there. And this didn't cost the city. We didn't have to raise property taxes. We did not impact your wallet, and every dollar we poured it right back into this community. Now, $1 was backdoored or unaccounted for. So those are the things. That's the power of this presidency. And what we are doing in our community, when you have good people working from the top all the way down, this is how local government connects with the federal government and ensures that our communities are not alone.
And I agree with Vice Mayor. It is so important that we understand the federal government and the president when they are here helping these municipalities and giving us funding, especially when you talk about our roads and our streets. We still have a ways to go with our sidewalks, but we would have never been able to do the things that we're doing, that we have done and looking forward. We're just so appreciative. And that's why it's just so important when you're looking at the news or you're reading about what the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans are doing. And you need to make your mind up of who's really working for us with our tax dollars. And so I just want people to just be more alert on what's going on around you politically. So thank you for that, Vice Mayor. So next we have Youth Services Bureau. Is Katrina Emerson here tonight?
Right now, Ms. Anderson, I believe, is with the client.
Okay, Senior Center, Dr. Polk here tonight?
I'll deliver the update for the construction of the senior center.
Oh, it's good.
You know,
Okay, David Street is going to Kitch Seas. Oh, did I skip over public? Is that what you giving me this? I'm sorry. You just gave me this.
Good, good.
You welcome.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, staff, residents. Father B, Acting Supervisor for Public Works, would you please accept my, report for this month of September 2023? Actually, I have highlighted what you should have of my agenda. Of course, we did the painting for the white, stop traffic light, the stop signs. We replaced guardrails at District Heights Parkway and Barbara Drive from an accident. We also repaired alleys throughout the city with asphalt at the end of the alleys where all the millions was running into the streets. And then it was County Road, Blazer Drive, and Council Drive. We also, what we did, finished the alley, okay, that was kind of the same thing. We did defensive driving for all the public works workers, which, you know, I ended up on here, also attended the public works meeting on Zoom. September 15th, we had our flyers for the 5K walk, finished installing poles and painting arrows for the new speed bump pumps. Saturday, September 16th, public works work, the My Soul Knows 5K walk run. On the 26th, they started cleaning out the public works office, took trucks, you know, balls to get the lights installed, pretty fixed of all the trucks. They did touch-up painting, moving things around YSB for the City District Mental Health Meet and Greet event. They removed materials from the senior center and stored them in the 400 closets. Pressure washed YSB front porch, finished cleaning out the public works office. The 29th, the furniture to the police substation. They actually installed furniture in the police substation. You know, trash and clean the balcony at the YSB. 5 public works employees work the mental health event at YSB. Ongoing projects. We still have the milling of concrete that's not completed yet. The restroom renovation plans have been approved by the city, waiting on approval from the county ADA. And finished projects, they haven't been finished anything yet. Upcoming, the City of District Heights list of trees, and urban tree expansion program. The county has started to take down the list of trees attached. Also, I want to, refer this to the residents. Upcoming is November the 1st, leaf collection. I would like for you to please do not block your car when you break the leaves to the curb, because it's hard for us to get around that. We don't want to put no scratches or nothing, be liable for any damage to cars. And that is my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Doran.
Thank you, Roger, for this report. Steve, you have upcoming projects. That's ongoing. The county started to take down some of the trees in the city. And as you know, we've been speaking with them for the last year about planting more trees in the community, but also removing some hazardous and dangerous overgrown trees that we have covered. So I'm really glad to see, I've been seeing them around, starting to take some of those trees down. I see that we also have the list here. So I did ask Angie to cross-check the list that the county had with the list that we shared with them.
Yeah.
And Angie did share that there's not a lot of overlap with what we requested and what they're actually going to be taking down.
Yeah.
And so, is there any way that we can sort of get in contact with them and have a conversation on maybe identifying the trees that we would like to be taken down specifically?
Yes, next week we are planning to get in touch with them so we can collaborate with them with trees that we actually had on this that we would love to get taken down. So we gotta wait till next week to talk about that.
Great, great. And have we heard anything, David, on the timing of the trees that we're going to get planted?
Not yet.
Okay.
I could, Jason, he did tell us, and I've seen the markings and I've also seen flags. So usually those start around the end of October through November, and they're going to phase off.
And to the Vice Mayor's point, thank you for bringing that up. We did request that they has a list of locations so that, residents or unsupported the property owners can consider. Is their usual process, so I am expecting a final list from them, but to the Vice Mayor's point. Still in the community, still doing work.
Any other questions?
I do, and these are just, Roger and David, these are just some observations, on Rochelle, on either side.
Sure.
There are some areas where, I know your team has filled some potholes over there.
Yes.
Maybe they could use some, I think the last time they did them, it was cold. So we can take advantage of this weather while it's warm to go out and fill those holes. And additionally, I observed a street light out at the Veterans Park. I wasn't able to stop to get that number, but it's only one right on that corner. That light is out. If you can contact somebody to come change that.
Okay.
And also, are we still doing limb collection? Because I've seen several places where people have set limbs out and they've been there for a while.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, limb collection is the last time. Next Tuesday coming. I can't remember what's the date on Tuesday. But the last 10th is the last collection until January for limb collection.
Okay.
This Tuesday is the last collection date for until January 2024.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure, Commissioner.
Thank you, Nate. I wanted to follow up on the collection, if you could just provide some details about the size of limbs collected.
Yes. Actually, well, Tanisha not here. She actually, put something in her, what can be collected. It's not, I'll be able to collect it. It's just normally just limb size, no big trunk size, what they call it?
Stumps.
Stumps, I'm sorry. No big stumps at all, because they're not be able to fit into the leaf, limb machine. So we will not be able to pick up no trunks, no lumps. Stumps, just limbs. And it'd be nice if you just found, like I said, right beside the curb, away from all vehicles. We don't want no damage, we liable for no, damaged vehicles.
Limit.
Well, it's really no limit to the limbs, as long as it's not no whole tree,
Right.
okay?
Well, do they have to be in bundles? I think that's what you.
Well,
Just separate,
we
just have them all the way
prefer them to be in bundles for us, tied off, something like that, to it'd be easy for the guys, you know, picking them up and just put them straight into the chip, because it's hard sometimes, and you go between the wires, you might, like I say, damage a vehicle or something. But please do not stack them near no vehicles, because it's kind of hard for us to get around them, and then with the machine sitting right there, just, because some of the streets are very narrow.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, let me make sure I'm going to this list. Senior center. And then you go right into, you know, go.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I will provide a brief update on the senior center. While Tanisha gets me hooked up here. I'm happy to report that the senior center is nearing substantial completion. We are under final inspection tomorrow. You may have heard, if you were around the municipal building today, we were doing a fire alarm test, which is a last step toward getting occupancy. So I'm expecting us to do a final inspection and receive our occupancy permit in the next few days. Furniture is scheduled to move in by our installers the week of October 30th. There's a little bit of a delay there because we're having to schedule to get on their calendar, but that is quite good timing for a November, December opening.
Okay, great.
Following final inspections, we'll be working through punch list items. However, we do expect the building to be turned over to the city within the coming weeks. And I'm happy to answer any senior center questions at this time. Dr. Polk, as you know, is working away on programming and is getting ready to stand up programming, or I should say introductory programming for the building when it opens to the public.
So I do know that we have some additional work to do again. So hopefully we'll be able to schedule that work in order to continue with some of the programming. We have to have that work done before we could initiate some additional programming.
That's correct.
So hopefully we could put a time limit on it.
That's correct. And to your point, Madam Mayor, some of the other things we're working on cleaning through is getting quotes, estimates, and installation schedules for final AV equipment, for example. So we are working through a lot of those cleanup things before programming.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
No, I have a comment.
Okay.
Just to elaborate on what the mayor has said about some other things. There is a senior center advisory group that has been working with Dr. Colvin. We have another meeting scheduled for later this month. Working, the results from the survey that was that residents completed. And so hopefully after that, and I know that Dr. Polk is also working on staffing for that as well. She's been working on the position descriptions for a while. So I hope we're going to be on schedule. I pray we are on schedule for hopefully at least by December opening of the senior center. I know that myself and my colleagues and the mayor are constantly, whenever we're running into residents, one of the number one questions that they do ask is, when is the facility going to be open? So I know that they will be pleased to know that we are closer to that final day of the celebration for the hard opening for the senior essentially. So thank you, sir.
Of course, and once we go through the final permitting process, we will be able to deliver a solid public opening date. Which I said I'll be able to, I think, hand over to the commission and the community within the coming days.
Thank you. So you want to go?
Yes, I do have a couple of items to cover in my manager's report. I will be short or brief. I know folks might be trying to go see the game. So a number of months ago, the commission adopted its strategic plan. You identified outcomes that you wanted to see in the community. You set goals as to how you wanted to see those outcomes come into being. And we started to build some activities or tasks to support the goals. Across all of these areas, one of the most important ways we can measure our progress is by benchmarking. So in figure 1 of my report, which is displaying on the screen, you will see some benchmarking. What we have done is entered into a pilot program that Polco, which some of you may know, has acquired the National Research Center, which is a national level surveying apparatus to benchmark district heights against a number of comparators. What you see in the report is the preliminary benchmarking in several areas: the safety area, economy area, land use area, community connection, education, arts and culture, and community health. What I would like to do is briefly provide you some insight into how these benchmarks are built and how they're going to be incorporated both into the strategic planning reporting as well as our general government report moving forward. So this is our data dashboard. It is still being refined by staff, but I do want to give you the opportunity to see how it works here, because there are a number of national, local, and state level metrics that come into building the city's benchmark score. So for example, I'm going to take the economy benchmark, and this data here has us benchmarking against the national average, right? So what this does is it aggregates data among several classes, including business vitality, employment, and overall income. So what it does is pulls these across these different data areas, various data points sourced by a variety of reputable institutions into an aggregate score, and compares that aggregate score to whatever other jurisdiction you might be looking at across Maryland or the United States. Our purpose here is to really be able to get a pulse on where the community is at today as compared to the outcomes that you defined in your strategic plan, right? As we go through the strategic plan implementation process, we will be able to further refine these data points to really get a clear picture of where the community has been, where the community is today, and where the decisions that you're making from the dais are taking place. So when we talk about benchmarking, there are a couple of things that I would like to point out. You can see when we benchmark against the national average, there are some places where we're doing all right and some places that maybe need some improvement. I will point out in the public safety area, that first top left quadrant, one piece of information that is skewing our data here is that, and that Chief Tarpley and I just unraveled earlier today, much of this data is based off of FBI reported data, which Chief Tarpley is in the process of going back through and correcting many years worth of reports. So I would expect the score to change much more quickly as he corrects those reports and that data is aggregated into the overall score, then you will see other scores change. So I just like to give that caveat.
Is it pulled from zip codes?
It depends. So you can set it based off of a number of different parameters. The way that we've got it set up is incorporated boundaries versus.
So
But we can certainly, we do have the ability to tweak that.
No, I like the fact that I don't want us to,
It is specific to District Heights as a jurisdiction.
perfect. Thank you.
And it's comparing us against other jurisdictions. Yeah, if that's helpful. So this is gonna be from the index score level, a recurring part of both my report as well as a strategic planning report. What you will see as we become more adept at reviewing this data and aggregating this data and really talking about what it means, is it impacting the decisions that we undertake in implementation of the strategic plan. So you can see here, we're working a little bit on education, arts, and culture compared to both the state and nationally. You know, that's a place for growth, but it's also a place for growth that the commission has already prioritized. So we'll be able to really look at the decisions we make and judge them based off of our relative position in the state and the country. So first, any questions about benchmarking and strategic planning?
This way.
Any questions from the commission?
Can I just say thank you? You know, the day I talked about, I was so excited to get this because I'm just like a data nerd. So I was so happy to see like, okay, we have things where we can prioritize our efforts, what we know will be most impactful without, and this is the type of data that you need, good organizations need, so that they can say, this is why we made a decision. It's not just an invoice. It gives you you don't have to reinvent.
And Vice Mayor, to that point, what I'm hoping to do as departments get more experience working in this dashboard too, is to start pulling out some of those individual metrics as discussion points of interest to us for the specific areas that you've identified within your goals and outcomes.
And they can also give us recommendations based on it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to economic development. I am happy to announce for the first time publicly to the commission that you have closed on a property acquisition on Marlboro Pike. The commission has purchased an assemblage of parcels on fronting Marlboro Pike of approximately 1.4 acres. And you did this without impacting any local tax funding. So this was all state and federal funds that went toward this property acquisition. I will also be able to say that you got this property for approximately 65% on the evaluated dollar. So you did come away with a good deal for residents, but most importantly, you've come away with almost an acre and a half of undeveloped, unencumbered land for use, for public use along the pike to anchor the city's presence along the commercial corridor. What we are doing right now is we've engaged a site design firm to give us sort of an upper maximum and minimum build out on the site to really dig into what would be the best options for service delivery for the city on the pike. There have been longstanding discussions about establishing a police presence on Marlboro Pike, and your purchase of this property takes a big step in the direction of fulfilling that vision. The parcels are big enough to offer you some flexibility. So over the coming meetings, I expect us to have discussions on how the commission and how the community wishes to scope this potential, this build out. We do have also options for other public amenities and resident services along the pike, whether it be options to develop along the back end of the parcels off of Scott Key, or to have a public open recreational facility or arts facility on the site as well. The options are, given the zoning, pretty open to what the commission wishes to see. Any questions about the property acquisition on Marlboro Pike before I go into the economic development component of the speech?
I'm excited. It's been, one of the priorities for the city to move forward and to have that presence on Marlboro Pike. It gives us the opportunity to grow, to get other, involvements on how we can service our residents, businesses, making that a possibility. And David's gonna talk about the economic development, but this is huge because we are moving in the right direction without looking at talking about being landlocked, talking about how have to always dodge the bullet on raising property taxes for our residents. We have opened up an avenue where the vision for us is nonstop and sustainable for years to come. So we are actually excited that this is happening. And I'm just going to ask if the commission wanted to comment on this. So any comments or questions from the commission at this time before David goes into his economic development? Commissioner Gomez.
Thank you, David, for finally sharing this good news. I've been really excited for us to be able to share this with the public. You know, this is so important for our public safety. This is important for how we're moving, excuse me, how we're moving the city forward economically. We have a lot of growth coming from Marlboro Pike. We've been continuously talking about it, not just us, the county, also the state. And we're really putting the city's money where our priority areas are. You know, in terms of public safety, I've spoken to residents who live behind Francis Scott Key and they felt neglected, not taken care of. Having that presence on Marlboro Pike, there's no way that that feeling can continue, right? We are prioritizing our citizens' public safety as well with this move. So I'm excited as we move forward with seeing what these possibilities are. Last work session, we talked about our growth plan. This is well in line with those developments as well. So I'm turning on to your comments.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, David. I'd like to thank my colleagues and the mayor on the commission for having the vision. This is so important. Thank you, Chief Tarpley, because what this will do is it will legitimize us as a growing community. When we talk about economic development, the biggest issue that we have is safety. If you don't have a safe community, it's not competitive in this area. And that's why it's so important that we have changed our branding and our messaging to separate the incorporated city of District Heights because, you know, from the at-large District Heights, because it skews who we are as a community. We're a safe community. We are not a violent community. We are a safe community. One thing that we have not done and all commissions have not been keen on doing was tying in the economic piece, which is Marlboro Pike. That's our living. And so if our businesses don't feel safe, we have a lot of the crime that we have is right on Marlboro Pike. When we put that police presence there on Marlboro Pike, it won't only make them feel safer, it will send a message to everybody else around here that we're serious about security, we're serious about safety, and we're visible. And so this is a long time coming. It will be also an added value added plus when we want to expand. And so this is what people need to see when they say, well, why would I want to be part of annexation through District Heights? This will be one of the things to show them that we're not only growing, we're putting our money in the priorities that are most important to community and a safe community. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
I'll make a quick comment. Okay, I echo the comments from my colleagues, and I will add that this has been a long time coming. This is something that I know back to when 2014, then Commissioner Howard. This was a vision of growth for this community, for all of us. We can't stay small. We are big fish in a little pond. We are now gonna grow that pond to an ocean that merits what this city deserves. And I'm excited about what is to come with this parcel here, with this property. I don't, so it's, but you've got to have some vision and some insight to see that when this property gets developed, it is going to be the shining star for the city of Detroit. Folks are going to be coming far to join us with our new senior building and what's to come with this parcel as well. So thank you. Thank you for everybody that was involved with making this, brought this to fruition. It's going to be wonderful.
Thank you, Commissioner Jennifer. Commissioner Tillman?
I'm good.
You're good, okay. All right. So sure, Commissioner.
So this property is located next to the 7-Eleven. For those who are looking.
Closest to Silver.
Yes. So,
So I'd like to move on to the economic
sure.
to all lead into. The intention with this property and the opportunity that this property gives the city is to anchor the redevelopment of Marlboro Pike. Now, we have had long-standing conversations about redevelopment coming our way on Marlboro Park. We're in, I believe, the planning phase of phase 3. Phase 2, I think, is somewhere in the construction phase. So it is coming. It's a couple years away from a county level, but it is coming. What this gives us the opportunity to do is exactly what you said. It's anchor our section of Marlboro Pike with a public safety and public services center. What that provides us the opportunity to do is both influence the growth, redevelopment, and importantly for our current business owners, retention efforts along the pike. We can exert that influence in a number of ways through using the facility as a business, or some of the space in the facility as a business incubator, as a community gathering space, and most importantly, as the Vice Mayor said, to keep safety along the pike. We know many of our halls space. These presence along the pike is going to have an indelible impact on the safety of the surrounding businesses and the larger community. Our hope here is that by supporting the existing businesses, by ensuring their safety, we facilitate their success and thereby reduce the resident property owners' overall tax burdens by increasing the proportion of the city's government that is funded through commercial taxes. You can only do that with a strong commercial corridor, which is the piece of our economic development initiatives that this property acquisition anchors. There are other components of our economic development initiatives also, which will be subject to future work sessions this year, but I did want to give that preview in relation to these parcels.
So could you just explain to the residents that we are looking at the police department and resident services,
Yes.
but as far as the administration part?
We have a lot of options in how to develop this site. Our preliminary feasibility study did not return any significant encumbrances on the site. And so you have the potential to build perhaps a smaller building that focuses specifically on public safety and community services, or you have the option to move the administrative headquarters of the government to Marlboro Pike. That includes moving your own offices, my office, the city clerk's office, finance, HR, things like that, to the Pike, and say that that is the headquarters for the city of District Heights.
Of course, having walk-in community services is going to be key. So we will be working on a model where all of our departments come together to deliver services effectively in a one-stop shop. But the commission has wide discretion on how to develop the parcel.
Thank you for that. Any other questions regarding the parcels? Just for the residents, I know we did the action items, 2 items, but could we just talk about the approval of permit application to a cell facility?
Yes, happy to. This was an application from Crown Council Communication to place a small cell facility, and I'm moving up to the plat as we speak. A small cell facility in the public right of way. What I would like to do is reassure residents that this isn't a new cell tower. This is about a yardstick, 2 yardsticks worth of antenna attached to a Pepco pole about 14 feet in the air. It's not something that you are going to see looming out in your backyard. The intention really is to provide better cell and mobile internet coverage in that area of the city.
All right. Bathrooms update.
Yes. Come back. All right. If I may, I'd like to run through our active and queued construction projects. I already provided an update on the District Heights Senior Center. I'm happy to also announce that the RFP was released for Fiesta Place this past Friday. I have already received a number of inquiries from potential bidders, so that's really exciting. That closes for questions on the 13th and then closes for evaluation 2 weeks thereafter. If we are lucky and we have a mild winter, we may be able to begin construction then. If we have a less than mild winter, we will be able to do a little bit more planning. But that remains to be seen. The municipal center restroom renovation, we did get an update on. It is in the design phase. We are running into some architectural and planning complications with the age of the building and the size of the existing facility. So what we're doing essentially is working through catching up on 20, 30, 40 some odd years of building code to make sure that any restrooms that we bring in as a part of that construction project are as good as they possibly can be. We had initially anticipated bid documents kind of returning to the city from our consultant at the end of last month, end of September. It's looking more like that's going to be the end of October, and that we will go to the RFP process in November, December. There are some, as the Public Works report mentioned, because we are dealing with, restrooms that would not necessarily be considered accessible by today's standards, we are having to play a lot of catch up in terms of accessibility. The restrooms that we have now are up to the standards at which they were built in at the time, which is a number of years ago. Standards change as they should. So we're doing a little bit of catch up legwork before we can really solidify the documents we like that. Veterans Park Phase 2 is in the design phase. That is budgeted with program open space and local funds. It is the next queued project to come up following the release of the municipal center restrooms renovation bid. Thereafter, we have the municipal field restrooms, which are in pre-design. The next project down the list, also program open space and local funds. And then we go into the FY24 program open space projects, which are the ones you've already debated previously. Kipling Parkway, shared use pass, Marlboro Pike site development, which is what we're looking at now, as well as the potential relocation of the dog park. You will see additional capital and construction project updates and recommendations during the FY '25 budget development process. So you will see these projects queued again with more detail, likely in the January, February timeframe, so that city staff can get direction on how to sequence these projects into what is going to turn into your capital improvement program. Any questions on your active or queued construction projects?
Any questions from the commission?
Yes.
Commissioner Jennifer?
Thank you, Mr. Street, for this report, this update. My question is specifically Veterans Park Phase 2. Will there be some opportunity for the Veterans Park Committee to be included in some of this discussion as we move forward?
Yes, one of the things that is going to have to change in the design phase, as you know, since the prior design was done, a new service branch has been added, so there's going to have to be some discussion about how the park accommodates the new service branch.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
I do. I don't know if this is this was something small. I know at the last PGCMA meeting, there was a presentation by, I think it was America in Bloom. And I know that there's, that's something that, is part of the beautification plan that, Mayor Miller is part and parcel pushing, which is also falls under economic development.
Yes.
So I wanted to know if you just reached out to them.
Yes, I have reached out to that. While it doesn't necessarily fall under the category of a construction project, it does pertain to city-owned properties. Think of the Clock Circle roundabout or anything that we have in median. So it's good that you mentioned that, because incremental improvements to each of those locations will be included for your consideration in the upcoming budget process. Many of them do have some amenities like flowers or benches or some tree plantings. Yes. But there is some space for improvement to make them more accessible and more friendly for passive use by residents. Another area of consideration to make it into the project update is the work we're doing on walkability and interconnectivity for our walking spaces. So that's something that you will be able to see as well with respect to both sidewalk, shared use path, and improvements to those that exist.
And if I can just give a real quick one with it. So what this American Bloom does is, and a lot of local municipalities have them, what they do is they come out and for about $1,500, they come to your community, they do an assessment for areas where you can improve by plantings, heavy landscaping, boulders, gazebos, benches, public art. They go and find out all your areas where you can improve. They give that to you, and then you can build that. The commission will be able to budget those things. But an additional component that they offer is funding sources, grant opportunities, so that a lot of these things won't cost the city little to no money. Additionally, it ties in a component, how to keep the cost down is a community building effort where we get volunteers from the community to come out, plant, put the mulch in, and you basically adopt the areas where you want to weed them and keep those areas up. And the presentation was incredible because it showed areas like downtown areas in the Midwest and Rust Belt that were effectively dying. And when they came in and put these flowers in, these heavy landscaping, it renewed those communities. It's a sea change in what you see. And they'll be able to come in and put perennials in, things that come back that are resilient, that won't take a lot of water or a whole lot of maintenance. So it's a great opportunity for the community to do that. And if we get in it early, we also get an additional reduction in the $1,500 with that consulting fee. And if you can look around and find a consultant, when they do a report like that, that's a bargain. That's a huge bargain.
That's a $10,000 to $20,000 report.
Yeah, that's right. So it's something we're really excited. And they also come out and you win awards and they benchmark you against other communities in the, this is a nationwide program. So it's a wonderful thing for us to be, partaking in. And I know your friend there,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in there.
Tracy Gano, Edmiston.
yeah, and they win tons of awards. And she was even saying at the PGCMA meeting, she didn't think that it would really make a difference. It makes a huge difference. Businesses love it, residents love it, and it really makes your community just, the pride it brings to your community is incredible. So I'm looking forward to us getting involved in that.
Thank you.
The final informational update I have in the general report is just a brief IT update. We are in the pre-planning I've been talking too much tonight, I apologize. The pre-planning phase for our data security and migration. This is essentially our cloud migration. We have many local servers where we host our data as well as offsite servers. So we are in the very, very early stages of planning migration to the cloud. All of the new services that we have been bringing on have been cloud-based. So the Laserfish archiving system that STAR just completed implementation on is cloud-based. So all of our documents are going to be hosted elsewhere and secured elsewhere.
That we control.
Correct.
Yes.
That's correct. Star and I are the administrators on that particular account. We are also gearing up to, we're in the planning phase, so we're actually building out the environment for our O365 and Exchange Online migration. This takes our Microsoft licenses that you use day to day, Excel, things like that, migrates them also to the cloud, and pulls an email environment, which is currently server-based, onto Microsoft's cloud. So that's in the planning phase. I would anticipate that project will actually ramp up toward the end of this year, beginning of the next calendar year, before we see any real change. I already mentioned the digital archive implementation. So the archive is built for general government, the police department, code, and a skeleton has been built for YSB. We are getting ready to gear up the review and scanning of our many, many paper records at the end of October 2023. The preliminary review for those documents specific to general government, where we focus on high-level governing body documents and high-level financial documents, is anticipated to run between the end of October and the end of December. That is where we are reviewing everything we've got, determining whether or not it is a record that is subject to a retention schedule, whether it's historically significant, and what we need to do with it. That, again, stressing preliminary review is expected to run through the end of this year, with the actual reviews and digitization to proceed starting in January, February 24. Once general government and code and the police department hit a critical mass with their backlog, we anticipate rolling that archive out to other departments. And then finally, the phone system conversion has been completed. And I have no further IT updates to report, although I'm happy to take questions.
Any questions for the commission?
I just have one about the archiving, about the digitization. Are we gonna enter into a contract, with like Iron Mountain or somebody to, so those records that we do need to retain, like that we do our state reporting, that they're kept off-site and,
We're going to explore that. One of the things we don't know at the moment is what the actual volume of the physical records that we have to retain is. We just know we have a lot of records to go through. We have a couple of options. We can house them offsite with a vendor like that, that would more or less handle their security and retention for us. Many records are eligible to be turned over to the state library, which is something we plan on doing. And then there are some that have operational value that we will want to retain, either on site or close by. We are also configured for, but have not activated a digital retention schedule so that in the future, we will be able to get to a point where we deal solely with a digital document. For example, all of the contracts that I sign are digital. Paper contract unless I have to. That's good because it's got an audit and review trail and metadata that goes with it. And so say you have a PDF like that, it goes into the repository. And when we flip the switch and set the schedules, STAR will be able to, Ms. Jefferson will be able to administer the digital retention schedule that matches the physical retention schedule for you. Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for all that good news. Ms. Michelle Watkins, Code Enforcement. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, residents, guests. Please accept my report for September 2023 as submitted. I will be brief. For Section 413, abandoned vehicles on private property, there were 9 vehicles posted for September. One resident requested an extension and it was granted. The majority of the others were cleared by the home, and 2 was for next week. For Section 402 violation of housing codes for things like sanitation, open storage, littering, and others, there were 43 notices posted on private property. There were 10 notices mailed for violations that were not cleared. So that became into the discipline bracket. There were 5 stop work order posted, and there were 13 building permits issued. We posted numerous friendly reminders. That's the new door knockers, and all the violations were cleared for notice. Mandatory inspections are still proceeding as scheduled. We're working with residents to clear any of those that are not been done. Our incoming revenue is for $3,814.97. Some highlights and reminder. The highlights is we did some training for ADU task force. It was a meeting reference to accessory dwelling units, which they're kind of talking about changing requirements for buildings that are added to older buildings. So I went to the meetings for that, and they're in the process of updating and changing some of the requirements. So that's still in the works. That's one of the trainings. The code staff participated in the MySoul for K-Run. They help with the traffic control for the 5K. The majority of notices that were posted for this month was for high grass and weeds. We know we're getting to the end of the summer, so we are trying to clear all of those. So if any residents see any properties, especially the back or rear properties, sometimes we don't see those because, you know, they have fences and stuff like that. So send us an email or, you know, give us a call and we'll make sure we check those properties. I want to mention 6318 Porter Street. That's finally been cleared. The garage is down, the tires have been removed, so the property's not there. What happens from here, we will see. So we're still trying to deal with it. It's not an on-site owner, so it's very hard to locate. So with the code, with the court order, and the many years of trying to get it clean, it's fine. Okay, so. And we have other properties that's also been cleaned by the contracting company that is now, we have a liability to clean properties, especially in the as Roger stated earlier, the last day for the limb pickup is October 10th. So I am advising residents now, do not put limbs out after October 10th. For limbs and any debris on the city's right of way, the city code and fine is $1,000. So when we see it, we will give you a warning. If you don't remove it, we would charge the fine, and then the city would collect it. So this is just a friendly reminders now. We do try to use those, but if that doesn't work, then we find it. All complaints and issues that was reported, were, posted and or checked or cleared and verified. If, and I say this at every meeting, if you have gotten a violation or warning notice and you cannot clear it, please give us a call. We will try to work with you, give you an extension if we are able to, so that you'll have time to clear the violation. That is my report as submitted. So are there any questions?
Any questions from the commission?
I have a question.
Yeah, Commissioner Jennifer.
Thank you. Was the property on Kipling part of, homes that were cleaned up? Or was it just the property on Foster for now?
There were, okay, which property are you covering? 6508.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that, yeah, she mentioned that one. That one was cut. We still are working with that property because, because there is no property owner there. We did cut it, but it's one of those ongoing issues. It's not like 6308 where we cleaned the whole entire property. Those properties, they go back. So it's like one of those every 2 weeks. And if it's not clean, but hopefully it's the end of the year. So we probably will not have to deal with that property again until next year.
And then my other question was, in terms of residents that may leave limbs out in the city's right of way, how is the code enforcement office notifying them?
If we see limbs on the city right of way, we post it. We try the friendly reminders, but cities right of way generally don't get friendly reminders because it's just that, cities right of way. So we put warning notices, and the warning notice gives you 48 hours to remove all debris, limbs, or anything off the city's right of way. And if it's not, then we will, again, the fine is $1,000. And we will then go to court, but the city, we send it to Public Works and they will clean it for you, but we try not to go that far. So most of the time, my guys, they will stop and they try to, if they see somebody, notify them that they need to do those things. They try to do the reminders. We're trying that one. But the city's right of way is not something that we're doing. At 48 hours. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commission?
I do. So how are you coordinating, like I said, because I just ride the city, usually on the weekends, and I do notice that some of the lambs have been out there for a while in front of people's houses. So how does code enforcement and police coordinate with Public Works to make sure that they know what sectors, I don't know how they're doing it, if they're collecting in sectors or sections, to make sure that they hadn't been out there prior to October 10th.
Okay, and so for this, because this is the last month, we're trying not to, again, deal with the limbs because we know people are putting them out because of the October schedule. So that's why I'm notifying residents. Now, after October, there really isn't any reason to put limbs out.
Right.
But I know individuals do it. They do it every year. So we try to put the warnings, notify them. We try not to find them, but some people, they put it out, they leave, and they're actually not even home. So that's where the problem comes in. So Public Works, because when they come to pick up the limbs, right now, we're just looking for Public Works to take all the limbs by October 10th. We haven't dealt with any of the residents, unless it's somebody cut down a tree.
Yes.
Because they don't do trees. So if it's just limbs, we're doing the friendly reminders, talking to residents, please remove them. And some of the houses, they're older residents, so they have somebody comes and they cut the limb and they leave it out. So because it's the last month, we're trying not to.
Yeah, that's exactly the situation with my neighbor.
Yeah,
They sent them out over a week ago. They're still there.
And we know that they did it and it's coming up to be cleaned.
Okay.
So that's why we haven't really bothered because of that. But after that, Public Works isn't going out anymore. So that's why I'm putting the notice out.
An additional question, I do know that the chief talked about that, code enforcement does have some power in some of our ordinances to deal with some of these, not repeat offenders, but these abandoned properties that are just egregious, where we can actually move to actually put a lien on these properties. Where are we at with some of these more egregious offenders? So, because if we're dealing with these out-of-state people, they're not complying, how are we escalating those?
Yeah, so, I've lost the address, but,
Like where
6318 is an excellent example. So what Chief Darkley and company are doing now is assembling all of the receipts for the various cleanings, demolition that we've done on that property. Once we have a packet of the city's cost assembled, we are going to lien the property. And we're going to pursue whatever ends we can to make sure that the property is either re-entered into the housing market so that new family can buy it or rehabilitate it.
Any other questions?
So, Vice Mayor's next question, there's a resident on Lansdale, I'm sure you're familiar with this address, that for several years now, they have been parking their vehicle in the backyard. I did note, when I was out walking that I didn't see a pavement. It appears that they're parking on grass. If I can get a status on that, I believe Mr. Mayo, I sent him an email about it, that property, so just would like to get an update, get at least a call a week from one of the neighbors. I will check that problem. Thank you.
Yeah, and before you go, if you can just for the record, so people that would look at the video, if you could just get the email address and the phone number to code enforcement.
Okay, the phone to complaints or any issues is 301-336-1400. And our extension is 150. Our administrator, Ms. Turner, is 140. Once you get her, she'll circulate the email or the call to whichever one of us needs it, and I will send it to the staff. It's
Code enforcement.
Yeah. Admisforguides.org. So yes, you can send the email or give us a call and we'll respond.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Last but not least, Police Department Chief Hartley.
So,
Keep my head up. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and residents. It seems like it's been so long since I've been up here. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, good to see you.
Please accept my report for September 2003 as submitted. The District Heights Police Department has responded to a total of 405 calls for service for the month of September. Of those 405 calls for service, 43 of them were considered most serious offenses. They are 1 sexual assault, 2 robberies, 4 assaults, 2 theft from autos, 7 vandalisms, 9 thefts, and 18 domestic calls for service. The police department wrote a total of 29 reports, 3 of them being motor vehicle reports, 3 hit and run reports, 19 impounds, and 1 recovered stolen auto, and 3 missing person reports. The department had a total of 4 adult arrests for the month of September. The department issued 2,680 speed camera citations, 157 moving violations, 91 warnings, 47 other moving violations, 20 stop sign citations, 8 seat belts, tickets, 1 equipment repair order, and 25 parking citations for a total of 192 traffic citations in September. September's revenue included $90 for crash and incident reports, $100 in parking citations, $32,629.30 in speed camera citations, $900 in vehicle releases, for a total of $33,719.30 total revenue for September. And some updated news. Let's talk about our speed camera enforcement program. Make this very clear, our cameras are now 24-hour residential enforcement. They are in effect. If you run them 24 hours, you will get an actual citation because they are already pre-existing cameras. We don't have to have a 30-day waiting period. So we're getting a lot of complaints now. People are speeding at 1, 2 in the morning, getting citations. That's because we are now 24-hour enforcement, residential enforcement, when previously we were only school enforcement through certain hours. So any camera system in the city, now we are strictly doing residential enforcement, which is 24 hours. We will keep on expressing that. Update on some of our newest cameras that are being installed. Eastbound on District Heights Parkway, we have cameras installed. We're currently waiting for Pepco to install a meter on it. We have a new camera that's just installed northbound on County Road, we are also waiting for the same status for Pepco to come out and connect service on that. So when those two cameras go in effect, those are speed cameras. Those will also be 24-hour. The first 30 days, since they are new cameras, will be warning notices. For the first 30 days, we'll be issuing warning. After that, they'll go in effect for citations. So you will have effect to adjust your speed habits on those two streets there. In our next phase, our speed program will be the red lights enforcement on County Road and Marlboro Pike. We'll have two cameras there, one coming from County Road and one on Marlboro Pike. So they're in the beginning planning stage of those. The first stage of that is you'll make your plans and submit those to Pepco and to the county, and they will review them. And then this thing, I think Red Speed did put those plans in. They were told to make some adjustments to them. They did. They resubmitted them, and now we're waiting for those back. So we're in the beginning stage of that. We'll be looking to that takes about a roughly 3 to 6 month time to get that camera up and going. We're learning now, and that's mainly because waiting for the permitting, and mainly the Pepco. The Pepco seems to be the longest portion of this deal, getting them. But as we're continuing to build our relationship with them, it seems that we're getting much better. So we look to see a big increased presence with the speed program in the next coming months.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about some trunk or treat. We will have a presence at the Woodland Springs with the Rec Center doing that. But I also felt last year while myself and Staff Sergeant Martin was on patrol during the city, we learned that there's a large presence kind of around the Elmhurst and Council area and Council and Foster area. So we'll also be setting up vehicles at those two locations, Elmhurst and Council and Foster. You'll have 2 patrol cars that will be dressed up. We'll be participating, police department, code enforcement, participating in trunk or treat in those areas, as well as still patrolling to make sure everyone's having a nice, safe night for Halloween and all that. That would conclude my report. Please accept it as submitted. Thank you.
Any questions?
Unless someone wants to go first. And this is just a question about a couple. I think former Commissioner Irby and I, we kind of peeped this out. You did it too, the Commissioner Elvis, up at Rochelle and Atwood about a couple stop signs that you really think that should be a 4-way stop. Is in the morning, I'm very entertained. People don't even stop at that sign. So I'm just thinking that it would probably be better if it's just a 4-way stop to ensure that somebody stops. But
Rochelle, okay.
right where the YSB,
Yeah, right. Take a look at that and see if
a
that.
couple stop signs there. Also, just because I haven't seen him, is Officer Campbell still with us?
Officer Campbell, as you know, enlisted in the United States Army a few months ago. He completed his basic training and now he's at, I think it's called ATI training over here in Virginia. So he'll be back with us, I think, it's later in November.
Oh, okay, okay.
So just 30 more days of training and
Okay, Sam.
Any other questions from the
I'll take that, thank you.
commission?
Yes, ma'am.
Wintergreen and Kipling.
Winter Kipling, yes, the stop sign is being there.
Yeah, always, for years.
Yeah, so that's one of our future sites where, once we continue to move forward, and we might be at the school park now, we will conduct another speed study. There's two of the places we'll do on that. We're coming in off Kipling to Wintergreen. I feel like a speed camera may be good there, so we'll get the real speed, do a speed study there, and the other spot that I know is a great spot is, because we're actually using the Dragon camera there, is Regency and
Yeah.
so it's towards Pennsylvania. Yeah, they are really kind of gangs there. I know because again, the Dragon camera and handheld. And we'll probably, not just say we'll deploy it up that way. Again, for Dragon, those of you who don't familiar with the term Dragon camera, it's a handheld speed camera device where all you have to do is point and shoot. If you are, miles over, it will issue a ticket automatically in the mail. Just the same thing as a speed camera would. Is mobile, we can deploy that anywhere in the city.
How many do we have? Just to
You just need one.
go out here myself.
So,
Cause it's a lot, you know.
yeah, yeah,
People look up to Richie and it's like, it's a lot.
yeah, so I'll have them deployed or whatever.
Okay, yeah. Any other questions for Chief Tarpley? You're done? Chief Tarpley?
Thank you.
Oh, we do have one announcement before I ask for, well, actually, are there any announcements? You want to talk about the?
Yes, yes, it says. So this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here in the municipal building in the gym, we are hosting, the Sustainability Committee is hosting Power Park. That's an opportunity for you all to come out and get help with utility assistance. So we'll have vendors on site for your bills, for your ID, who can sign you up for utility assistance programs. We'll also have video games trucks for kids. We're serving lunch. We're having many vendors, including, I believe, WSSC. Pepco will be on site as well. So it'll be a great opportunity to come out, bring the whole family. We'll have things for everyone to participate and hopefully lower your utility bill.
Any other announcements from the commission?
I do.
Okay, Commissioner.
On tomorrow, the Youth Services Bureau holding the rescheduled event of the Family Engagement Night. Part of the, some of the activities that are expected is going to be jewelry making, there will be food, and then support and music and other resources. The event is, again, it's tomorrow evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Youth Services Building. The address is 6421 Atwood Street. Please call the Youth Services Bureau at 301-336-7600 for more information and to register for the event. Hope to see you there.
Any other announcement? Okay, I do have one. One of our longtime residents. Celebrating the life of Martha Ann Armstrong. Those of you who may know her from volunteering with CAP, AARP. She was always very active in the city of District Heights. She's actually a member of First Baptist Church of Highland Park, where I'm a member, so I would see her on Sundays, and this was prior to COVID, years before that. So her homegoing service is Tuesday, October the 10th. And it will be held at Little Church Chapel at Fort Lincoln, 3401 Bladensburg Road, Brentwood, Maryland, 20772. And the viewing is 12:30 to 1:30, and the service starts at 1:30 p.m. Because she was just so loved in the city of District Heights. The family is hosting the repast here in our District Heights Recreation Center, and that will start at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you're able to stop through and give your condolences to the family, please take time. If you cannot go to the service, the repast will be here right after the service, starting at 4 p.m. at District Heights Recreation Center. She will be truly missed. I always enjoy her smile and her kind demeanor. So let's just give our prayers to the family. And I think something's going to go out, but they have not. Please look for that. So I do see one of the committee members from the Fiesta Garden here, Terry Spade. Did you want to make an announcement or make any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Street. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No, you have to come up for
Okay.
it.
Sunday's event.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you're here. I know you've had a long day. Precious.
Mr. Street, thank you. First of all, Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for letting me truly be out of order, but thank you all much. Thank you, Mr. Street. Listening to the meeting from Albany to here, hearing all the wonderful things that the city is doing, I am in awe. I'm glad that people are in place to make it happen. I'm gracious for the support with the programming that we're trying to do. We're getting it together. It's taking a minute. But primarily because this community has not really had that before. I am overwhelmed almost to a point of emotionally overwhelmed because I'm glad to see us moving in the right direction. I thank the mayor for having faith in me and Mr. Brooks and to get it done. Xander, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Harcourt. Thank you so much. Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Jennifer for just egging me on, you know. And Mr. Tillman, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. We know you're an author. We know that you're involved with children. So we're waiting for you to get involved in the garden. The garden needs a good, strong children's program because they're our future. And once we get that addition done, Mr. Street, then we're gonna really be rocking and rolling. So thank you. Thank you. And I'm done because everybody's late.
Sunday's event.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday's event. Here
Oh,
on
Sunday better. Sunday, we are excited because Esther Mitchell, who is the coordinator for the Prince George's County, University of Maryland, Prince George's County Master Garden Program, is gonna come and talk to us about turf. What do we do with it? How short do we cut it? What are those issues that are popping up right now? And when we over fertilize, just because everyone says fertilize in the fall, how much of that is going in your lawn and how much of that is going to the Chesapeake Bay that we all drink from? So Esther's coming. We're gonna have a chat about lawn care, how to have a gorgeous lawn, how to minimize your lawn, how to cut it at the right height. And then we're gonna have a garlic project giveaway. So maybe I can get the holes drilled in the buckets by then. If not, you'll get a bucket. You'll get garlic and you'll get instruction on what to do. So we're rocking and rolling. And next month, we're going to have growing indoors 365 days a year. That's gonna be interesting, and you really can't do it because I do it, so, thank you all, thank you, Mr.
What time on Sunday?
Tomorrow, on Sunday, it is gonna be here from 2 to 3 o'clock PM,
Here.
right here,
Oh, okay.
right here. Just come through the back entrance. Yes, and we'll have some light refreshments.
Vice Mayor?
I got a question for you, because I'm interested in doing this. So and this is something that you could probably work with David or with me, I can sponsor. About, I don't know if we have, I'm pretty sure we don't have an ordinance on books about taking out your lawn and putting it with native plantings and all of that. Will they cover that topic about if you want to just take your lawn out and maybe do it with rocks or just take the grass out just to conserve water?
Esther will be, talking about that, but also, next Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30, National Wildlife Federation is hosting a webinar that I'll be teaching about turf to meadow conversion.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like us to
It's
get-
great.
Yeah, and I'd like us to get an ordinance on the book to support that so that we
Yes.
can codify that in our sustainability plan, that we are putting ordinances in places to support these changes that we need to do to keep our community sustainable.
It's sustainable, makes it beautiful. You can have a gorgeous meadow without using a hose.
Yeah, pollinators.
18 years, I do not use no hose at all. Policies, just, because there are people that don't have water in their communities. I want them to have my share. So yes, the webinar is free. I will post it on the city website and other places, but, yeah, you should attend.
Thank you.
And it's not heavy. It's something, anyone can do it. And there's 3 ways to do it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
We can certainly look at ways to we can certainly research options to incentivize or promote that type of redevelopment of the residential. If you'd like to step on back with that. Okay.
And there is an initiative next year for replacing.
Yeah.
You'll find out about them.
You're welcome. Thank you for everything that you do. If there isn't anything else, could I get a motion?
Vice Mayor Harcourt moves to close.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Meeting has been adjourned. Eight, 5.